Good morning, everyone. I know some of you value punctuality. Hey, Keith, can you turn on the microphone? Oh, there you go. Thank you. We know that some of you value punctuality, and it's time to start the service. However, our tech team just informed Chuck and me that they have trouble finding some of the script for the service today. Our administrator put it in a different place, and you know how people deal with differences. They get lost. So anyway, they're working to get that queued up for us to start the service. I just wanted to take the moment while we had a minute to say thank you all for showing up in the right attire today. Some of you got the message. You know, when we planned this particular service, we asked people to dress today in the spirit of the 1960s and 1970s. Some of you here, like me, remember those years. Some of you do not. But for those of us who do, we wanted to reflect that era, because today we're thinking, in many ways, we're hearkening back to those years in our country with what's going on socially, culturally, politically, and religiously. So anyway, thank you for those of you who showed up. You can see we didn't know whether to call it Hippie Sunday or a Black Power Sunday or what, but I do have a funny story to tell. You know, for those of you who don't know, I'm Lou Snead. I'm the retired Presbyterian minister that this congregation allows me to hang around in. And so when I was in Austin, I served the church there for 17 years. In the process, Michelle and I made friends with some people at the local YMCA where we went every morning to work out. And I struck up a relationship with the guy that worked at the front desk. And he said, well, I really like you. Most ministers don't have a sense of humor, but you do. And so I said, well, yeah, you ought to come visit our church sometime. No, I don't know. I don't go to church much. So I teased him about it. And so one Sunday, he happened to show up. And it was our version of Hippie Sunday. And people came in typical Keep Austin weird shirts, tie-dyes, shorts, you know. It was a real weird-looking congregation on that one Sunday. That was the Sunday he happened to come. And he set himself on the front row. And he thought that, you know, he was going to be different. So when I got up to welcome people, he took out one of those plastic glasses with the big nose and the mustache. And he put that on, and he looked around the congregation. And nobody laughed. After the service, he said to me, I knew you were weird, but you got a really weird congregation too. And so we pride ourselves on being different, weird, unusual, special, whatever word you want to use. I think we're ready to go. Does that mean yes? Okay, so Chuck's going to get us started.
We are not afraid, we will live for The music, excuse me, the music you have just heard invites us to arrive, to settle body and spirit, and to prepare for a time of worship. As an act of care for those gathered here before us, those joining us online, please silence your devices so that we may share this time in presence and connection. If you are visiting today, you are invited to fill out a card on your seat back in front of you. And return it to the welcome table or in the offering plate so we may extend our welcome to you. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Good morning. My name is Chuck Collins, and I want to welcome you to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or joining us online, whether you're here for the first time or the 1,000th, we are glad you are here. And I am honored to serve as your lay leader for this morning. San Gabriel is part of a larger movement of Unitarian Universalist congregations, working together for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. And here in this community, we begin that work by sustaining one another in love. So some opening words. Our social justice service today is built around a shared assumption that many of us here, like many other UU congregations, realize we are living in dark times and in our nation and in our world. Some of us are discouraged, if not depressed, about what our political leadership is doing to our nation and to our global community. Can I get a right on for that? Right on. Some of us are living now with some level of disbelief, anger, or worry about what about 30% of our nation wants us to affirm about making America great again. A few of us even think it might be time to leave this state or this country when the dominant political party has consistently elected power-hungry, egocentric, xenophobic, racist, Christian nationalists, and self-serving public officials who appear to have no personal integrity at all. Others of us are anxious about the health of our economy and what our future holds for the well-being of our planet and for our future generations. So today we will attempt to address the question about how we can maintain any kind of hopefulness, any measure of strength, and some social and political resilience in the face of dark realities that we are living through these days. This Social Justice Sunday is rooted in one clear and certain affirmation. Our nation has been through periods of time like this before and has preserved. Some of us are old enough to remember those times during the 60s and 70s. I do remember those times in the 70s, but I was 12. So it wasn't much of a part of it. When just about every important institution in our nation, social, political, economic, and religious, were under assault and appeared at times to be unraveling. During those times, many people rose up to challenge the racism, the militarism, the economic elitism, the sexism, all the isms, and the environmental destruction that the institutional establishment was promoting. This morning, we are suggesting that we are living through a time when we have to learn to practice resistance to the forces of inhumanity, self-righteousness, and the evil that we see dominating much of the political and social and economic landscape of today. Our social justice premise for today is this: we must become weavers of love and justice during this dark age in America. And that starts with developing our resilience to the forces of animosity and dominance that are informing the social and political playbook being followed by our institutional leaders today.
Right on. Right on.
As is our custom, every week we light a candle. We call it the chalice. It's here. It's a symbol of the UUA connections together. We have words here that we invite you to recite after me as we light this candle today. We light this flame to remind us.
We light this flame to remind us.
Love is the center.
Love is the center.
As we grow and connect, mature and deepen.
As we grow and connect, mature and deepen.
Love is our center.
Love is our center.
When the light of truth burns away all else,
When the light of truth burns all else away,
love endures.
love endures.
We have a calling in song. We got our resistant singers with us today, which we're delighted to be a part of this particular social justice service, and they are going to be helping us sing today.
Hey everybody, we're singing Resistance. We meet on Wednesdays at 6:30 here. You're gonna be singing this song with us. So it's a call and an echo, and then we sing the Our Love for Each Other part together. So we'll show you how it's done, and then we'll do it again, everyone. Okay. All right. We are here.
We are here.
With our voices.
With our voices, our love for each other will carry us through. Our love for each other will carry us through.
So that's how it goes. We'll start on verse 1. We'll sing it all together, okay? Here we go. We are here.
We are here.
With our voices.
With our voices, our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through.
Our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through. We are here.
We are here.
With our families.
With our families, our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through.
Our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through. We are here.
We are here.
With our voices.
With our faith, our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through.
Our love for each other will carry us through.
We are here.
We are here.
With our courage.
With our courage, our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through.
Our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through. We are here.
We are here.
With each other.
With each other. Our love for each other will carry us through.
Carry us through.
Our love for each other will carry us through.
Thank you.
The Wonder Box reminds us that wisdom often comes in small packages, and that curiosity is a sacred gift at every age. Candace White, our Director of Religious Exploration, will now share this time of learning and wonder with us.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so no wonder box today, but I do have a story, and in honor of singing resistance singing, I thought we would read Change Sings. So I would love to invite all the youth up to the stage so we can read together. If you'd like. You seem very invested in your projects back there. They have all kinds of fun stuff back there. They're making like bead bracelets, and they got watercolor. Change Sings, everyone. Ooh, I did not think through a mic. I'll hold it. Come on. It's good to see you. How was your trip?
I'm going to say Blockalili.
This is a book called Change Sings, a children's anthem by Amanda Gorman. I can hear the change humming in its loudest, proudest song. I don't fear change coming, and so I sing along. I scream with the skies of red and blue streamers. I dream with the cries of tried and true dreamers. I'm a chant that rises and rings. There is hope where my change sings. Thank you. Jessica's on vacation. Though some don't understand it, those windmills of mysteries, I sing with all the planet and its hills of histories. I hum with 100 hearts, each of us lifting a hand. I use my strengths and smarts, take a knee to make a stand. I'm bright as the light each day brings. There is love where my change sings. I show others tolerance, though it might take some courage. I don't make a taller fence, but fight to build a better bridge. I talk not only of distances, from where and how we came. I also walk our differences to show we are the same. I'm a movement that roars and springs. There's a wave where my change sings. Change sings where? There, inside me, because I'm the change that I want to see. As I grow, it grows like seeds. I am just what the world needs. I'm the voice where freedom rings. You're the love your bright heart brings. We are the waves starting to spring, for we are the change we sing. We're what the world is becoming, and we know it won't be long.
Isn't it such? But my mom has a spray for itchy balloons, but she said
Oh, bummer. We all hear change strumming. Won't you sing along?
put it on here.
All right. That was change sing. Oh, it looks like he was doing a good job of keeping his feet to himself. Yeah, that's good news. Hey, youth, would you like to sing We Will Protect Each Other for everyone? And with everyone before you leave? You can stand up and sing if you'd like. If not, you don't have to. has become kind of the theme song for our ready? We will protect each other, and we will be everything we need. The good land, the wild waters, the whole sky is always on our side. We will protect each other, and we will be everything we need. The good land, the wild waters, the whole sky is always on our side. We will protect each other, and we will be everything we need. The good land, the wild waters, the whole sky is always on our side.
We thank our resistant singers this morning. And as we come to this part in the service, as we always do, it's a time for us to share our joys and our sorrows together. It's a regular part of what we do in every one of our Sunday services. Today, I'm mindful that we are approaching the 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation. I thought maybe some of you would be going to Washington, D.C. to look at the beautiful green reflection pool in the nation's capital. But I'm glad you're here. We are mindful of the issues that are going on in our country today. We will be addressing those throughout our service this morning. But we're grateful for this land of opportunity, land of liberty, and some of us hope a land of peace and goodwill. While we're thinking about the anniversary of our nation, we also are mindful of what's going on in the world around us. We are very mindful today of the loss of life in Venezuela from the devastating earthquakes that have happened there. We pray for the international community to come and be of aid to the folks there. We're mindful too that war is going on. Our nation has a hand in that. We pray for peace today, particularly in the midst of this warring madness. We know that this is Pride Month. We realize that there are folks still who are being subjected to prejudice and biases and rejection. And so we remind ourselves of what it means to protect each other, as the song said, as we try to live in love and peace. There may be those particular joys, concerns you have this morning you want to share. This is your time to do so. Chuck's got their microphone. Raise your hand, let Chuck come to you and share those with us. That you may have and hold in your hearts today, we lift those up to in the spirit of love and peace. This morning we have a video. Chuck found this video and said, you know, true to this resistance theme, we want to remember that sometimes there are challenges that face us not only individually, but as communities and as a nation. And so this video is reminding us of how we might go about addressing those issues.
So before I introduce this video, I've got a couple of questions and then we have a song first. How How many people here know who the Black Panthers were? All right. So how many people here think of guns every time that they think of the Black Panthers? All right, so this video is going to challenge some of your assumptions. But first, it's the singing resistance group. And now the video.
The Black Panther Party was not sustained by guns. It was sustained by breakfast. In our last episode, we looked at police patrols and armed self-defense. But if you stop there, you misunderstand the party entirely. I'm Dr. Joshua Crutchfield, historian of Black freedom movements. This is Sankofa House, where we look back at history in order to move forward. Today, we're asking new questions. Why did the Black Panther Party invest so much energy into free breakfast programs, free health clinics, and other community services? And why did the federal government consider these programs a threat? To answer that, we have to focus on the Panthers' political strategy. And we have to understand the survival programs as the Panthers putting theory into practice. Scholar Paul Okibulon, in his book Survival Pending Revolution, puts it this way. The party would organize these survival programs to educate the community about the contradictions in a capitalist society between rich and poor. The Panthers wanted to point out that they were serving the needs of the people with limited resources, while the government was doing nothing to alleviate the distress of hungry school children. This framing matters because it shifts us away from seeing these programs as merely community service or a retreat from their radical politics. The question is not whether the Panthers fed children. The question is why feeding children became a radical act. By the late 1960s, Black urban communities were facing deep structural neglect. Industrial jobs were disappearing, schools were underfunded, access to medical care was limited, food insecurity was common. Therefore, everyday survival was unstable. Meanwhile, the federal government was expanding military spending abroad while insisting that inequality at home demanded patience. Not much has changed. Therefore, frustration intensified. But when Black communities protested these conditions, the response was often more policing rather than investment. The Panthers looked at that contradiction and drew a conclusion. If the state will not provide the basic material necessities, then the people must organize and provide it themselves. Therefore, survival programs became a central political terrain. And if you don't get this, you will misunderstand everything that the Panthers built next. If you value historically grounded, serious analyses of Black political movements, and you want to see how each class builds upon the last, make sure you subscribe to Sankofa House. house. So what were the survival programs? The most well-known is the Free Breakfast for Children's program. Panthers woke up before dawn. They secured donated food from local businesses. They cooked in church basements, community centers, and storefronts. They served meals before school, and this was no small feat. At its height, thousands of children across the country were eating daily because of the Panther Free Breakfast program. Then there were the free health clinics. These clinics offered basic medical care in communities where hospitals were inaccessible or hostile. They organized sickle cell anemia testing, which disproportionately impacts Black life, at a time when the disease was widely ignored in public health funding. They distributed clothing. They organized food giveaways. They created liberation schools that taught Black history and political analysis alongside tutoring. They even created bus programs where families could visit incarcerated loved ones in distant prisons. These programs required logistics, budgets, volunteers, commitment. They were institution building, and every site doubled as a space for political education. The 10-point program circulated at these spaces. Parents asked questions, new members were recruited. Their service to the community and their spread of their political vision worked together. They were not trying to replace the state with charity networks. They were not retreating from radical politics into social work. The Panthers called these efforts survival pending revolution. That phrase is precise. Survival because people needed to live. Pending revolution because structural transformation remained the objective. These programs were designed to expose the gap between what the state claimed it represented and what it actually delivered. Former Black Panther Jonina Abron put it this way.
Our programs like this, we call them consciousness-raising programs, and we hope that people will begin to wonder, well, the Black Panthers can feed a few children, then the United States government, with all their wealth, why aren't they feeding more children?
And the state understood that. FBI documents show that the federal authorities considered the free breakfast program one of the most dangerous Panther activities, not because it fed children, but because it built credibility. If a grassroots organization could feed more people than a municipal government could, then this revealed state failure. That disrupted a core power dynamic. From the state's perspective, that could not be allowed to expand. Therefore, repression intensified. Through COINTELPRO, the FBI pressured landlords, spread rumors, intimidated church partners, and targeted organizers. It was a coordinated effort to undermine the Panthers' credibility within the communities where they were organizing. Breakfast became dangerous because it made neglect visible. But here's the dilemma. The party had to balance armed self-defense, internal ideological debates, and expansive survival programs, all under constant state repression. That tension would reshape the organization into the 1970s, and it raises a question we haven't fully addressed yet. How did the Panthers communicate all of this? And that's where we're headed next. The survival programs were not charity. They were a referendum on the state's legitimacy. They were the 10-point program made concrete. If the party demanded housing, education, employment, and an end to police brutality, the survival programs demonstrated what meeting those needs could look like in practice. In our previous episode, we examined how the Panthers monitored the police. In our next episode, we'll look at how the Panthers controlled the narrative through their newspaper and media strategy. Here's the question I want you to sit with. And I think this is the power of the Panthers and of some of our current mutual aid groups. What happens when communities began to meet their own material needs outside of the state? How might that undermine or push the state to be more people-centered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for studying with me.
So as we approach the 250th anniversary of the founding of this nation, I'd like to raise a question for you and me to ponder for a few minutes today. And it's this: how are peace-loving, justice-seeking, community-minded people, particularly Unitarian Universalists, supposed to maintain any realistic level of hope about these values when our nation seems to be really caught up into what could be described as nothing more than political madness? How are we supposed to hang on to those values? Before I do this, I want to take a quick survey of the congregation this morning with regard to some of these issues. My reason for a survey is pretty simple. Over the years of preaching, I learned that on any given Sunday, we have a very diverse group of points of view sitting in any congregation. And so I want to be sensitive to that. So I'm going to read several options to you, asking where you are out of one of these three. As the survey says, pick the one that's closest to your position. And I'm going to read the three to you, and then I'm going to ask you, after I read these, I'm going to go walk back through them and ask you to simply raise your hand to indicate which of the three responses is closest to yours. Okay, here they are. Response number one: I am distressed and even depressed about the direction that our nation's president is leading our nation in, and his party, and where we seem to be going. Second possible response: I affirm the Making America Great agenda, and I want to see it promoted more. The third possible response: I try to ignore politics altogether and focus only on my behavior and my interests as a citizen of this country. Okay, now's your time to vote. How many of you are closer to I'm distressed and depressed about the direction our nation's president and his party is leading us in? Thank you. How many of you really want to affirm the Make America Great Again agenda? Lastly, how many of you say, I just try to ignore politics altogether and stay out of that, just be a good citizen? Wow. I was going to suggest if you answered, you agree with the Make America Great Again agenda, or even if you felt like you agreed that you wanted to stay out of politics, that now would be a good time to go get a cup of coffee or work on your grocery list for the week. Because I want to focus on the rest of you who raised your hand, being distressed. When Chuck and I talked about this particular Social Justice Sunday, focusing on resistance and resilience, we suspected that most of us in this congregation were feeling a lot of this distress, anxiety, worry, anger of what we see happening with our nation's political leadership. And that's pretty easy to understand. Unlike Christian nationalists, you engage in civic responsibility on the basis of shared values and principles about living in the world, living in community on the basis of love, justice, equity, peace, and the common good of all. For many of us, these values right now appear to be trampled by the government administration operating on a unilateral exercise of power, national self-righteousness, the dismantling of democratic principles, the restoration of white privilege and racism, undermining religious pluralism cruel-hearted xenophobia, renewed homophobia, government dictations on personal and family decision-making, and unnecessary and immoral war. Did I leave anything out? So the spiritual issues that we are addressing today is how to hold firm to values and convictions that we have when everything else around us seems to be under assault or being destroyed. Where can we find the hope for these highest values and principles of our nation and be confident they will not be replaced by draconian political regimes that seem now to be in control? And what can we do? What can we do to resist the dominant power of a government set on deporting vulnerable families of color who've been living and working here for years, or to stand up against white racism intent on eradicating unpleasant American history, or to challenge Christian nationalism that wants to prosecute every abortion as murder or treat every Muslim as a terrorist? What can we do? Today's message is pretty simple. 2 reminders and a story. First, as Cho pointed out earlier, some of us here are old enough to remember that our nation has been through periods of social, political, cultural upheaval during particularly the 1960s and 70s, when the institutions, the communities, and families in this nation were being fractured left and right. Those were very tumultuous times, if you're old enough to remember those days. Our nation was divided over a war that was going on in Vietnam. There were racial injustices and unrest and civil rights protests. The video pointed to some of that. There were shocking assassinations of key political and social leaders. There were many economic struggles going on, poverty. There was violence. There was reaction to all kinds of injustices of that time. The 1960s and 70s also brought on the challenge of secularism to establish religious beliefs. Remember, it was the scourge of drugs wrecking young lives. There's a widespread disillusionment in our nation about law enforcement practices in the legal system. Looking back on those years, our nation went through a real difficult period of time. So here's the hope. Somehow, in spite of all that turmoil, all that violence, all that hatred, all that social unrest, our nation survived. This is why we invited our congregation today to wear some of what we identified as the hippie and black power clothing that symbolize what was called countercultural attitudes about fighting against the dominant political power. Out of those tumultuous years, some better angels did emerge. And some of our core values were reaffirmed. And some good government policies were put in place. The message we can draw from this history tells us that we too can survive these difficult times as well if we hold fast to our affirmations about peace and love and justice. Secondly, the power of fear and intimidation which are very real, have to be actively resisted by those of us who are convinced that there are better ways to live in harmony with others that does not demonize people, that doesn't call them scum or parasites or Democrats or maggots or fascists or deplorables or reactionaries or idiots or any other disparaging name. Disrespect for and condemnation of those who do not share our values will not alone move us forward in restoring the moral compass in this nation. Won't happen. Cynicism, or thinking that other people are the problem, will only carry us so far out in this resistant effort. Speaking truth to power seems futile when you have little or no real political power to make change. So, in times like this, it's not enough just to try to persevere, just to stop looking at the news, just hope that things eventually will improve if we get another person in the White House. How can we resist the destruction that we see taking place around us? In the words of Michelle Obama, when they go low, we have to go high. In a recent conversation with some retired minister colleagues of mine, we were talking about James Tallarico, the Democrat candidate who is running for state Senate position here. I know James. I know his pastor, where in the church he grew up in, real well. And we were talking about it, and some of my minister colleagues said, you know, I think the church has forgotten something about what Jesus talked about. And I said, oh, what's that? And they all remembered that in the gospel stories of Matthew and Luke, Jesus said these words, and I think the church has misunderstood them. Jesus said, when someone strikes you on one cheek, what are you to do? Turn the other cheek. Jesus said, if someone makes you walk a mile, what are you supposed to do? Walk another mile. What the Gospels don't tell you, but the cultural background of those particular instructions from Jesus, is the people there in Palestine were living under Roman occupation. And it wasn't unusual for Roman soldiers interfacing with the population to strike people on the face if they didn't like what they were doing or saying. And they would often grab people when they were trudging through with their military gear and force that gear onto some of the civilians and make them walk for a mile. That was in Roman law. They could do that. So Jesus was really saying, you know, here's a peaceful, nonviolent act of resistance. If they strike you on one side, turn the other side. If they make you take their military gear 1 mile, don't stop there. Take it another mile. What's the message? Don't let the power wear you down. Don't be intimidated by it. Stand up against it. We need to look diligently, I suggest today, for those who stand on moral convictions that will help our nation build and find its better angels, those who are asking us to get out of the swamp with those who use fear and intimidation or humiliation to control. Now is the time, I believe, for us to be listening for, looking for voices that will help us see the best that our nation can be. They're out there. Those who believe, as Lincoln said, we can live together with malice towards none and justice for all. Who are they? Once we identify them, then we, the rest of us, need to do what we can to thank them for their courage and their convictions and support them in whatever ways we can. Meanwhile, we do need to find the strength to persevere during these dark times when so much that seems to be good and productive in our nation is now being undermined or destroyed. So where can we look to find this kind of moral and spiritual strength? I want to tell you a story that might help. It's a true story. It's about a small church, not much bigger than this church of ours, that's located in a small rural village in south central France that was faced with one of the darkest periods in modern world history. This little church was confronted with the reign of terror that the Nazis who invaded France at the beginning of World War II was exercising through the government that they installed. This little church found the courage in the face of that powerful evil. It was a small Protestant church. If you know anything about France, France is predominantly Roman Catholic. It was a small little Protestant church in this little village of Chambon that decided to risk their lives in order to save thousands of Jews from being sent to concentration camps. Because of that nonviolent resistance preached by that church's pastor, this church's lay leaders, and most of the residents of that little town of La Chambon ended up saving thousands of Jews from deportation and almost certain death. When the pastor was asked after the war why this faith community of his took up this resistance, he said their moral conviction was based on the church's own history of persecution. He reminded people that when Protestants moved into that little area, secluded area of France in the 17th century, they were being hunted down and killed and burned at the stake because they were not affirming what the Roman Catholic Church had been teaching. He said that memory was still with us 200 years later. And because of that, as he said, my wife heard a knock at the church door. They lived in the church building, he and his wife. We opened the door one night and found a German Jew who had walked out of Germany out of fear of her life, came into our community almost frozen to death, asking for help. It didn't take anything more than that, and we said, we can help you. He said he knew from talking to other clergy, Protestant clergy, that there was this American Friends Society, Quakers, we call them Quakers, who were already setting up, relief efforts to get people out of Germany and France and get them to Switzerland to safety. And he said, so we decided we could collaborate. We could work with that group. We could help these folks. In the process, the surprising part of the story is they convinced the whole town. They weren't all Protestants. There were some Catholics living there too. They convinced everybody in that town to join this effort, resistance effort, to help them shelter, hide, resource, and help these Jewish folks who were trying to escape Nazi terror. They reported saved over 2,000 Jews who've heard about this village and found their way there. And these shopkeepers, butchers, teachers, farmers, all worked together. The amazing thing is they were never found out. The pastor's cousin was caught trying to help, and he was sent to the concentration camps and put to death. They knew the danger was real. So here's the point of the story. Effective resistance to fear, to intimidation, and to power, to control people, to control a nation, involves a personal, core, moral conviction about what is right and good, and then the courage to act on the basis of those moral convictions. Two things. Keep clear in mind the moral convictions, and then to find the courage when called upon to act on those convictions. France during World War II is not a story about exceptionally moral people in a little town called Charbonne who resisted the power of the Nazis. It's a story about a small faith community in a small town who asked themselves and others in their community to remember a time when they were persecuted for what they believed, and to resist that fear, to resist the intimidation and the threats to conform, and to resist for higher value. I want to believe that this congregation of ours here in Georgetown, Texas, can do the same today when the world around us seems to be going crazy and innocent people are being deported, condemned, marginalized, racialized by our current political administration. Do you think that kind of resistance is possible for us, for you and me here today?
Each week, we give an offering to sustain this spiritual home and to support the work of our fellowship. Today's offertory music is We Belong to Each Other, sung to us by our singing resistance group.
We belong to them, and
We close with words of covenant, promises that we make to one another and to the world. Let us share them together in a unison reading. Love is the spirit of this community. Truth is our sacred quest. Justice is our prayer. We dwell together in peace, seek wisdom in freedom. We serve life in fellowship. We grow in harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with one another. And so we have a final resistance song, Gather Your Courage.
Everybody. Yeah, us and them. This is another one for y'all to sing with us, okay? So there's echoes again, and then for the chorus we sing it all together. We're just gonna jump in. Or actually, it's together first, sorry. And then. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Everybody show up. Everybody show up. Everybody rise up. Everybody rise up. Everybody shake it up. Everybody shake it up. Everybody here. Everybody here. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Everybody imagine. Everybody imagine. Everybody build bridges. Everybody build bridges. Everybody weave us in. Everybody weave us in. Everybody here. Everybody here. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start.
everybody here, gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start.
Everybody find your part.
Everybody find your part.
Everybody name the heart.
Everybody name the heart.
Everybody lead with heart.
Everybody lead with heart.
Everybody here.
Everybody here, gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start.
Please recite after me the words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame to remind us. Love is the center.
Love is the center.
As we explore and rest,
As we explore and rest,
engage and heal,
engage and heal,
love is our center.
love is our center.
When only ashes remain,
When only ashes remain,
love endures.
love endures.
We're at the end of the service today, and I want to call your attention to the announcements that you found here. I also want to know if anybody have any other announcements we have that need to be made this morning.
I know we're late, so I'll be very, very quick. I'm wearing a shirt here in honor of John Lewis. John Lewis, the annual Action Day is coming up in July. It's a weekend of action this year. Starts on July 17th. Oh, I'm pretty loud already.
For the people online.
Oh, for the people online. I'm going to be even faster now for the people online. Coming up in July is the annual John Lewis Day of Action. John Lewis passed on July 17th back in 2020. And every year now, we have a bipartisan event, the foundation of which is voting rights, which of course is something he was, well, that was him. I could go on a long time about John Lewis, one of my heroes. But anyway, mark your calendars. It's a Friday, July 17th, and this is the only one I found in the area in Belton, Texas, up in Bell County. It's not a bad drive. They do a great job of rallies. They're very well organized. Indivisible Send Texas, and so it's going to be a big Central Texas thing, July 17th. Just
Thank you for
okay.
that invitation.
Oh,
Thank you.
sure. It's a
Social
No, it's a
justice
Friday night.
meeting this afternoon, Fellowship House. Any other announcements? Hearing none, and here's the benediction today. You're going to be a part of it. Gather your courage into your heart.
Gather your courage into your heart.
And go in peace.
Send my strength to
you walk forward towards the work you're called to do.
It was a great service.